God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be with you and remain with you now and
Golden handshake's thank ya. You chose the forces of patty around nose. Quick name in the quick ram over.
Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage. This week, another psychedelic video, more Neo-Psychedelia, but this time from the new Millennium. Bands and albums from the last 25 years, and what a period it's been. There's been a real renaissance in psychedelic music over the last 25 years, and almost to the point really where you could call this current crop of bands the third golden age of psychedelia. What a time to be alive. It really is brilliant. So much good stuff coming out. And what I think it really does is it really goes to show that with all these great albums coming out, especially over the last 25 years, there is great music out there. There's a lot of brilliant new music being made. You just have to dig that little bit deeper to find that treasure. So first up, a band from the UK. They formed in 1995. They put out their first album in 2000. This is the UK band Broadcast with their debut album, The Noise Made by People. And this is absolutely brilliant. If you think of neo-psychedelia as guys dressing up in kaftans, wearing beads, and looking back to the 60s for inspiration, that is not Broadcast at all. They went a whole different route. They were more cinematic. They were more electronic. They created these fabulous sound collages and yeah, just look to the future as much as they did the past when they were building these kind of psychedelic tapestries. But this is absolutely brilliant. Broadcast were originally a duo made up of Trish Keenan, vocals, keyboards and guitar, and James Cargill on bass. But yeah, they kind of put together this kind of unsettling mix of 60s pop, electronica, folk, all kind of mingled in together along with these obscure samples to create this very unique form of psychedelia. But yeah, like I said, this is their debut. It's really, really good. I went on to, because there's that many samples in this album, I went on to the website, I think it's called Who Sampled, and it tells you like pretty much every single album, the samples that are on it and who sampled that particular album. So I went on it to find the bands that Broadcast had sampled, and it was lots of things like Sam Gopal from the early 1970s, lots of late 60s bands, and lots of obscure references. But what I was not expecting was the number of people who have now sampled Broadcast. There was more people sampling Broadcast than they'd sampled for their sound collages. But yeah, really, really good. If you've not heard this, it's something different. They only released 3 studio albums in their time before Trish Keenan, the lead singer, unfortunately passed away and during a tour of Australia. I think she contracted some type of, I think was it swine flu or bird flu or something like that, but I think she got pneumonia and passed away, and she was still relatively young. So since then, like I said, there's been 3 studio albums, and since then there's been a number of kind of posthumous releases. But yeah, a really, really unique and inventive band. Someone worth your time. This is Broadcast. There's the label. This is the only album I've got at the moment, and I've listened to them for a while. Always really liked them, but I'll definitely be digging deeper because they've got other albums. This wouldn't be the most psychedelic one. They did an album with an experimental artist called The Focus Group. Is Broadcast and The Focus Group, I think it was The Focus Group they were called, which is very, very, very strange and psychedelic, kind of like the Faust tapes. It sounds something like this. But this is very accessible. Like I said, a little bit ominous, a little bit unsettling, kind of strange folky vibes to some of the songs that make me think almost like a modern day Wicker Man soundtrack. But then you've got like these electronic bits and the samples and all the rest of it. So yeah, really, really great stuff. That is Broadcast with The Noises Made by People. Next up, some brilliant neo-psych. We're moving forward to 2013, and this is The Luck of Eden Hall and Victoria Moon, their self-released album, Victoria Moon. And yeah, this is really, really good. They were an American band out of Chicago. They can trace their roots back to the 1980s, and they've put out a lot of stuff. But yeah, this is really, really cool. I love this steampunk imagery that they've got going on here with the album art. Really, really cool. The same in the gatefold as well. But yeah, this is quite retro neo-psych, so this does look backward, unlike the broadcast, and it's full of kind of Beatlesque orchestral flourishes, flange pedals. You know, to give you an idea, if you have a look at the title to the first track, Sassafras Overcoat, that kind of tells you the kind of sound that we've got going on here. Sounds quite British psych, but there's a very indie rock influence as well, and you can hear an indie rock influence in the tracks. I've got it on this cool yellow vinyl. So yeah, full of kind of psych, pop hooks, theremins, mellotrons, backwards guitars. When you buy a neo-psych album, what more do you want? You know, it's even got lots of hippie trippy nonsense. In fact, I showed that the wrong way. There we go. Kind of steampunk inner, but yeah, lots of psychedelic gobbledygook on the back. Chicago's own The Luck of Eden Hall's blustering, beautiful, progressive psych pop gems embrace all the rich spectrum of sound, experimentation and adventure that much loved genre psychedelia allows, but they always have their collective eyes pointing forward rather than back. And that's true, they do have that kind of indie rock element to the music, but yeah, they definitely certainly do look back, I think, a lot more than a band like Broadcast. This is on Headspin Records, out in the Netherlands. But yeah, really, really good album. That is Victoria Moon by The Luck of Eden Hall. So when we talk about this new golden age of neo-psychedelia, I look to Australia. It's kind of leading the charge. The amount of brilliant bands coming out of Australia is phenomenal. But then you've got a lot of great psych coming out of Sweden as well. And then obviously the UK and the US. New bands coming out all the time. But it's happening all over the world. Here's a brilliant album from France, from a band from Toulouse. This was put out in 2020. This is Slft, with, I think it's their second album, called Umon. And it's absolutely brilliant, kind of real spacey cosmic rock. But check out that artwork. Cosmic Brian would say this is an album for him. Would you like the full effect? There we go. Check that out. You've got this kind of silver surfer type dude, lost in existential thought as he ponders the secrets of the universe. But yeah, it is a bit of a concept album. I think it's loosely based on Homer's The Odyssey. But you've got this, like I said, this kind of silver surfer type dude. Yeah, really, really good. He kind of travels the galaxy searching for meaning. But yeah, really, really quite heavy. Lots of fuzzy wah guitar. They're a three-piece band, but the sound that they make is unbelievable. Very light on, well, it's heavy on the drums, heavy on the bass, heavy on the guitars, but light on vocals. There's not too many vocals on here, but yeah, it's still a really, really captivating album. I love this. If you want a real taste for how this sounds, go to watch on YouTube their KEXP gig on YouTube. That was the first time that I'd heard of them, when I saw them play I think it was the first two tracks they played. I'll just show you this. Inner's really cool as well. Great artwork. I think this is all artwork by a French comic book artist. But yeah, really cool. There's the label. But yeah, those first two tracks are great. Umon is amazing, and then It's Coming is brilliant as well. And as much as it's really, really heavy in places, and probably heavier and jammier than I normally listen to, there's some really nice kind of ethereal, cosmic parts to the album as well, which make it such a great listen. Yeah, so get ready to freak out and go on a psychedelic cosmic journey with these French psychsters, Slft, with their 2020 album Umon. Next up, another great modern US neo-psych band, we have got the Black Angels with their latest album, Wilderness of Mirrors from 2022. And love this artwork as well, looks really, really cool. I love all the iconography surrounding the band. They kind of remind me of Brian Jonestown Massacre, if you think of that reverse negative the Brian Jonestown Massacre used with their picture of Brian Jones. The Black Angels do the same, but with an image of Nico for their logo, and even their name, the Black Angels, is taken from the Black Angels Death song from the Velvet Underground's first album. You get this cool little obi with this one. But yeah, that's a kind of tip of the hat to one of their major influences, the Velvet Underground. They are very droney, and loads of lovely droney guitars with different guitar textures, heavier guitars, and then kind of little janglier passages as well. The bass guitar in the songs is really, really cool. The title track, that Wilderness of Mirrors, that's got a great riff in that song. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Lucifer Sam by the Pink Floyd. But yeah, really good. So if you don't know them, they're a 5-piece US band from Austin, Texas. So they've been going from about 2004. So they've been around for a while, and I'm actually quite late to the party with the Black Angels. Look at that cover, that inside cover. It looks amazing with the light shining off it as well. But yeah, I've listened to them a little bit in the past. And they do have that kind of, say, Velvet Underground influence, sound a little bit spiritualised, a little bit spacey, and like I said, a real Brian Jonestown Massacre influence as well. But as much as I'd heard some of their previous stuff, I'd never bought any of their albums, and probably not given it as much of a kind of dedicated listen as I should have. But I picked this up the other day for £6 online. I thought, yeah, I'll definitely have a bit of that, and I was actually blown away by how good this is. It's really, really, really good. So yeah, I'll show you the vinyl, in fact. Yeah, they've got all these little messages on the inner sleeves. We encourage you to rethink your preconceived notions, question authority, and create other methods for survival. And that image of Nico again. It's on blue and red vinyl. It's across two records, but yeah, really consistent the whole way through. Like that opening song, what's it called? Without a Trace is brilliant. That's really Brian Jones Town sounding. The one I love, Paired Firefly is excellent as well, and The River is really, really good. But this first disc especially, I've probably listened to this a bit more, but it's really, really good. Like I said, like really consistent. There's no duff songs on here. Really kind of upbeat and an album to get the blood pumping. Yeah, excellent. I'd definitely be going back and buying more of their stuff. I think it's Passover is their first album, so I'll definitely be delving deeper with these guys, the Black Angels, and this is Wilderness of Mirrors. So next, a neo-psych band from the UK, releasing their debut album. This is absolutely brilliant. This is just, I think it dropped about a month ago, and yeah, really, really good stuff. It is Mandre Handshake with Earth-Sized Worlds. Yeah, check out that trippy cover. It's so, so cool. So the band, they describe themselves as a psychotropic, neophonic, electro-stomping groove machine, and they categorise their style of music as flowerkraut. Who am I to disagree? It is very psychedelic, it is very krautrocky in places, but then there's all these other kind of influences as well, from samba beat to electronica, and yeah, all mixed together just to create this absolutely fantastic sound. They remind me a little bit of Banana Gun, the Australian psych rockers, and they do a kind of similar thing where they mix lots and lots of genres to create this brilliant psychedelic sound. But like I said, love the artwork. They're a massive band. They are between, I think, 7 and 10 members, so I think there's a few that fluctuate in and out, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people playing on this. Trinity Oksana plays the rain stick. People playing bongos. David Howard Baker plays organ, piano, keys, flutes, saxophones, gangu. Gangoku, group vocals. Then you've got Moogie Man playing modular synthesizers, organs, keyboards doing group vocals. There's tambourines, shakers, lots of instruments that I can't pronounce. It's heavy stuff. Well, it's not heavy stuff. It's that's a good description. Flowerkraut. I'll just show you. It just comes on black vinyl, the one that I've got. Again, that kind of trippy label. They've got a female lead singer. She sounds really good. And they've got a great overall sound, but they definitely do look more backward. So they've got quite a hippie, trippy image where they do stick on the beads and the coloured shades and all the rest of it. It says here, and thusly the Mandrake arrived at her first destination, Space Beach. Here is a land of dichotomies where the sea joins the sky and trees reach up and tickle the bellies of stars. This marriage of the organic and mechanical, the intimate and the epic, was a heavy draught indeed, and one which the Mandrake gladly supped. Here and when, peering into this horizon, blooms of planets and comets, asteroids and moons revealed themselves to her, and inside them countless tales. Victory and defeat, love and hate, future and the past, all wrapped up in each of these earth-sized worlds. Here she would stay a while and kindly asks for the same. Whatever that means. But yeah, the music's good. Yeah, we'll leave it there. That is Mandre Handshake with Earth-Sized Worlds. So there you have it. 5 great neo-psych albums from the new millennium. Get your teeth into some of those. I'm pretty sure they're all on Spotify. Go and have a listen. See what you think. I'm sure that you're listening to neo-psych albums that I've never heard. There's so much coming out at the moment. It's hard to keep up with it all. But if you've got some hot tips for neo-psych albums that have come out in the last millennium or in the last 5 years or so, stick them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you've got to say, what you've got to recommend. And as always, I'll always reply. Many thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And until the next time, see you later. Bye for now.